I want to introduce my dear, dear friend, Raki Chari. She has her own channel, and it's called the Breatharian Yogini. And without her, this channel wouldn't be here. So I am so grateful to her. She is a beautiful, beautiful soul sister. And I'm really excited to talk to her about her breatharian journey. And I have a lot of questions. So I'm going to be interviewing her.
Thank you so much, Veronika. I am so pleased to be here, and you and I, we chat for hours. So this is great. I just have such a connection with you, and I call you my soul sister, and because I feel that in my heart. So yeah, it's a pleasure to be here. Thank you so much for this opportunity to be interviewed.
Thank you for being here. I have so many questions. So Raki and I met a little over 2 years ago in Peru. We were both doing a Breatharian retreat with Ray Maor, and that was the first time we met. And I immediately felt a connection to her. She's just such an amazing soul. We just talked a few times from then until now, and then a couple of months ago, we just started talking on a regular basis and just sharing multidimensional experiences and just all of these amazing experiences. And for me, it's been so beautiful to watch Raki's third eye open and to watch her like just bloom into this incredible multidimensional being. She is such a mirror for compassion and kindness. I just can't say enough about that. What a light Raki is, and what a light she's been for me. She's such an inspiration. So I've asked her a lot of questions about breatharianism because I'm a liquidarian. I've been so inspired by Raki and all of the videos that she puts out, and I've been watching her path, and now she's almost at her 3-year mark. So that's what we're going to talk about. I kind of want to talk about her journey and how she's gone from this person who was just drawn to breatharianism to now living on liquids and prana now for 3 years.
That's really sweet of you to say all this you said. I'm so glad that we met, and I know in Peru we did have a connection. And about my journey started almost 3 years ago, and I think a lot of people say that my journey started before that, because all along I was always into health and wellness and detoxing and those kinds of things. So always kind of that spiritual path kind of always was very attracted to me, but I wasn't there. But I know I was doing a lot of work on my physical body and my mind with meditation and yoga and detoxing and stuff. So I think that my journey, I think my friend brought it up and saying that my journey started way before the retreat. And I think it led me up to being attracted to the retreat, because as you start lightening up, as you start, when you're becoming really healthy, I think what happened was I started thinking that all the stuff, all the food that we eat is so toxic. Was it pesticides, GMO? And I was like, I want to eat healthy, healthy, healthy. And then I would get organic food. It was always very stressful for me to think, oh, this has pesticides, oh, this is like this, oh, this is like this, and this is like that, and I need to make sure I eat this and not that. And I thought, this is so stressful that wouldn't it be nice to not have to worry about all that and not eat food? And that is what brought me to the breatharian path, because I was like, I don't have to worry about anything. I don't have to worry about food. So it was a very physical, it was not a spiritual thing that brought me into it, but it was a very physical to give up food. And that's what brought me into the breatharian journey. So when I saw Ray's interview, I was like, okay, you can live without eating, I'm in. And there was no looking back. I was like, okay, I'm all in. And that's what started me on my breatharian journey. So
I'm so inspired by you because you say things and I'm like, you know what? Yeah, of course I started before that retreat. Everything that I did prepared me for that. Everything that you did prepared you for being a breatharian.
Right, and it made it easier, made the transition into breatharianism easier, because my vessel, like I mean, in the 3D world, this is my body, like my vessel, my body, and I cleaned it out and I detoxed it, and the mind and not that everything was detoxed, but it made it easier to get into this path. Because I think you cannot just get into trying to be a breatharian or get into when your body, mind, everything that needs to be cleansed out, and then it's easier to get into it. And so I think it made it easier to kind of, okay, I can do this. And so, yeah.
So at what point, so you're doing, you've been on liquids and you reach your year, and I remember when it was 6 months for you. That's when I met you. And then I remember watching your YouTube videos every time you did a milestone video, and then it was a year, and then it was a year and a half, and however, and then it was 2 years. I just remembered, and the whole time I always felt connected to you because of your YouTube channel. So even though there was that period where we didn't talk, I always felt connected to you. And I always felt like I knew you through your YouTube channel. And your channel inspired me. I mean, so I would go back and forth with the Breatharian Pranic path and then eating food and go back. And whenever I needed strength, let me just watch one of Raki's videos, and it would give me inspiration and strength to continue.
And you know what, Veronika, that means a lot to me, because the reason why I have my YouTube channel, the reason why I do it, and is just to kind of help others on the path. And that's, I just feel that if I have this information and this whatever I have, if I can help others, and when I was going on my path, I was looking online, and I wasn't able to find too many people documenting their journey, because when you're on the journey, it's kind of nice to know, okay, what are these people going through, what happened, and what I'm going through is normal. But I didn't find too much of that, and I said, if I'm going to do this, I'm definitely going to document it, because I know that there may be people out there that may be inspired or may find something from it. And so that was my reason to start the YouTube channel. And even before I started my first retreat, I was so dedicated, so determined that this is going to happen, that even before I said, okay, and before I even went to the retreat, I said, I'm going to do a YouTube channel and I'm going to document everything. And so I was like, I'm going to do this. And so even my first retreat, I was documenting day by day how I was going, like my fasting, the
I saw that.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I really wanted to help people, and I think that there was a calling in me to just kind of to help. And I asked one of my friends. He was telling me one day. He's like, my calling in my life is to be a healer. And I was like, wow, how do you know what your calling in your life is? And he said, yeah, it's to be a healer. And then and he's also very spiritual. And I just asked him. I said, what do you think my calling is in my life? And he goes, I think your calling is to be a teacher. So I think this is part of it, to just kind of help people.
So I've watched you step into this lifestyle, and I guess your consciousness has expanded, and then all of a sudden your third eye just fully opened. Another reason why I think you're such an inspiration is because you're such a beautiful example of how anybody can, and not anybody, believe me, this has been such a hard path for me. So in that way, I just admire you so much. But as far as the spiritual part, you don't have to be spiritual to get on this journey. And so what an amazing thing to show and teach people, that if you're doing it for your physical health and just because you want to stop worrying about food and all of that, and that's a big part of it too, but you're like showing people, look at all of the gifts. So you started with just one gift in mind, not having to worry about food, and the further along you get on your path, I just have seen so many gifts that you are discovering within yourself on this path.
Thank you. I have to thank you for opening my third eye, because my life is just kind of went for a complete change after that, so I have to thank you for that. But yeah, it's really interesting how different people come into Breatharianism from different angles, right? Some people come in from very spiritual angle. People like me came in from, just a very physical, give up food kind of a basic angle, right? Like that. And so the different people come in at different angles, but we kind of all meet because I definitely was very into this physical world, very much into the physical world. There was not much. I mean, I know you say that I'm a very like that I have the spiritual side to me, and I'm very, but I never felt that way. I was always very kind of, the five senses here in the physical world, going through my own stuff, and slowly this whole thing about 10 years ago about detoxing, getting your body lighter, and just always caring about this body, because I think being into yoga, it's kind of just triggers all that stuff in you, and then meditation and all that. So yeah, that's what kind of brought me along into breatharianism. And breatharianism, there's no looking back. I have just been fascinated by this. I know the first year what it was I was struggling with this food thing, because I told myself 1 year without any solid food, come what may. Okay. And then it was a struggle. I remember this video I did about, I think it was my third month into it, and all I can do, Veronika, is think about food all the time. I passed by restaurants. I was like, I wonder what kind of food that restaurant is selling. Oh, what about that restaurant? What about that? And I would just be like, oh my God. And then I would go look on my phone and look at different food photos. I was like, oh, that looks good.
But what amazing strength you had to resist.
Yeah, it was just, I'm like, one year, it doesn't matter what happens, it's going to be that 1 year, and then after 1 year I'll do what I want to do, because I can't like say it's forever, because the child in me will rebel, right? It's like, what the hell are you doing to me, right? So I said 1 year, and let's see 1 year. And yeah, so I had to make it through that 1 year, and I had to let go of my clothing, because my clothing no longer fit me. I had to let go of a lot of relationships. I had to let go of a lot. So it was a complete cleansing of a lot of things that I had to let go of to make me lighter. Like, as it is, I had to let go of relationships. I had to let go of the places I was living. I had to let go of the location where I was residing in. I had to just let things go. I had to let go of my hair, because my hair was falling out. I just had to it was like a shedding thing. I just had to let go. And it was really, really it really tested me, because it wasn't easy to let go of everything. It wasn't easy for people looking at me like I had a disease, and people looking at me like they were. So I just wanted to go where nobody knew me, I wanted to go where a place where nobody knew me. They didn't have any comparisons. I just want to get away. And so I remember going off to a yoga teacher training. It was like some advanced yoga teacher training course. And I was like, okay, I'm going to go there for a month, and no one will know me, and I'll just be there. And boy, during that time, I started losing so much weight, because I was just 3 months into it. My body hadn't adjusted, right? And I was losing a lot of weight, and I just became like, I looked at myself in the mirror one day, and I was like, oh my God, what's happened to my body? Because I thought I was just skin and bones. I don't really know like what I would think of it now, but coming from the weight I was, not that I was overweight, I was just normal weight, and but yeah, I looked at my body and I said, oh my God, what have I done to myself? Why? And then you question yourself, like why am I doing this? And I'm looking, and people around me. I remember I went to this class, my yoga class, and one of the teachers is like, he told me, he goes, you know about burgers and pizzas? And this was in India. And he goes, you know about burgers and pizzas? And I was like, yeah. He goes, you know that place that serves? I'm like, yeah. And he goes, I think you should go have some burgers and pizzas. It's like,
wow.
So it's like I was getting it from all angles, right? And I kind of took it like, yeah, because by that time everybody was telling me that there was something wrong with me, right? And even a participant in the yoga teacher training course, she came up to me and she says, she pulled me aside. She goes, I need to talk to you. And I was like, oh my God, I know what she's going to talk to me about. And she's like, you know what? And she was really aggressive with me. She goes, you know what you're doing to your body is really bad. And I'm psychotherapist, I don't know what she was, but and I think you have a food and eating disorder, and I think you have this and that, and you're really doing this to your body, and this is what's going to happen to your body, and that what's going to happen to your body, and you don't have any idea what's going on with your, and you should not be doing this. I don't know what you're trying to prove to, what are you trying to do? And I was just like, okay, and this is like my 3 months into it, or maybe 3.5 months, or maybe 4 months into it. I was like, okay, like I'm taking so much by now, and I'm like, okay, there's one more. And I was like, okay, and I said, have you heard of something called prana? I mean, and then she's like, and I said, well, there is such a thing. And I started to explain to her, and I said, you know what? Don't believe me, don't talk to me. But, we have this pranayama teacher. Why don't you speak to him? Maybe he'll give you some more information. That's what I told her, but you know what? It was just, but I was really calm, and I think I was really calm and relaxed, but honest to God, it did agitate me at the end, because I was like, okay, she's the one who had enough guts to come and talk to me about how crazy I am. But could you imagine the rest of the people when we're sitting around, because there was mealtime, right? And we're sitting around at mealtime. What are all those people thinking about me? She's one. There's only 10 others that think the same way, right? And I remember one time sitting in the mealtime, and I was sitting there. Nobody will come sit next to me. I was sitting there by myself, and I was like, okay, because I'm the weird one and nobody wants to associate themselves with me, and that's kind of a hard thing, because I was a very social I've kind of withdrawn a bit now, but I was a very social person, right? I think I still am, but and I like to be around people but I found that, you know what, when you're on this path, people are not ready for it. And so I was like, okay, they don't want to sit around me, they don't want to have to deal with me. And so I'm like, okay, I'll just sit there and have my whatever they would give me, because they would have solid food. And I told them when I went into the yoga teacher training, and I said that I am not going to have any solid food, so is it possible for you guys to make like a soup or something for me? And then they agreed to that, so they would always have a soup or something for me, and then I have that. And so they would have their plates, right, and I'll put the food on the plate, and I would have a mug, like a cup, and I'd put my soup in there and I'd drink it. And they all thought I was crazy. I think most of them did. Some of them, I couldn't say all of them, but some of them did come up to me and say, you know what is this that you're doing? And then they were like, wow, that's so inspiring. So I mean, there were a few, so you had a mixed bag, but it was interesting. So anyways, I don't know why I went into this long thing about that.
Again, that's just such a testament to your strength. It takes a master to be in alignment with your soul, no matter, even if everybody else is saying you're wrong, you are being true to yourself. And that's one of the things that I've always admired about you in doing this path, because you were like just liquids, and you had so many clever ways of getting your liquids.
I'm so glad that my videos have inspired, because I mean, sometimes when I used to do my videos, I'm like, okay, I'm putting these videos out, I'm just putting them out, and I'm hoping that and the comments that I do get, it means a lot to me. There are a few people that leave comments and stuff, and it does inspire me to continue and doing videos. But I have to tell you that some of the videos I've done, I have gotten such abuse from the videos, such abuse. I mean, that's my most watched video. YouTube would put on the top of the list when it was like if you type Breatharian. Back then they used to put it, and the amount of views I would get every time, because YouTube would send me an email saying you have a new comment. Now they don't do that, because I have to now go and see the comment. I don't know if there's some setting problem, but they would send me email saying you have a new comment, and I was like, oh God, do I want to open that comment? Do I want to see what comment it is? And I had to almost brace myself to say, okay, what kind of comment was left? And then I would read it. And by and by, it would always be an abusive comment. And I was like, wow. It's like, okay. It's like, I mean, abuse is like, abuse to a different level. I mean, they'll do sexual comments about, oh, you only drink liquids, I have some liquids for you, and those kinds of things. Yeah. I mean, it was.
Did you get blocked?
Huh?
Did they get removed, those comments?
No, I didn't. I just left. whatever comments were there. That's on that. Because I feel like if you give that attention, like I block it, then they're going to put
Yeah.
another, so I just left it there. I said, you know what, the comment is there, that person wanted to put it there. So I left all the comments, whatever comment that they wanted to leave. But there was a lot of abuse that was on there. And some people have sent me a message saying, you know what, and that meant a lot to me. They said, you know what, it's a testament to you that you continue to do this even though you have so much abuse. So I was like, and I do it for the people that to get some benefit from it. So forget the abusers. Let me kind of. But it wasn't easy. I have to tell you, it wasn't easy. And I know, and if I tell people, they're like, yeah, well, if you put it on there, you're going to get all kinds of comments. True, but when it comes to you, it's a different thing. Like for me, because I was kind of a novice at the whole thing, and I never really put myself out there or anything like that. And I'm actually a very private person.
And I wanted to mention this. So whenever I see an older video, you're aging backwards.
Do you think so?
You're literally glowing right now. But when I see you like now, and then if I some of your older videos will pop up, you look younger today than you did a few years ago. I mean, you're a beautiful person, but you look healthier, you're glowing, your skin looks younger. So that's another inspiration. That's another reason to,
Thank you so much.
Get on the path.
Yeah. If you want anti-aging, you get on the Breatharian path. Oh, a lot of benefits. Like I used to have really dry skin, and I mean I still have dry skin, but not as dry as I used to have. And so my skin becomes softer. There's a lot of benefits to this path. Yeah.
That's amazing. So tell me about, it's so funny. This just occurred to me when we met in Peru and we hung out together, and when the rest of us were shopping, you went shopping with us, but you're like, well, I can't buy stuff because I only have so much space. I'm traveling and I only have so much space in my luggage. So it didn't dawn on me then that you are basically a minimalist. And right. Were you that way before, and has being on this path caused you to live that type of lifestyle?
Oh my God, right. It's so interesting you asked me that, because you are so right. I used to have a closet, like a walk-in closet that's almost as big as this room that I'm in, filled with clothes, okay? Like this clothes, that clothes. I mean, I lived in India for a few years, and I used to have just filled with clothes, like this party clothes, we had this clothes, and it was just completely stuffed. And I used to have like so many materialistic things with me, I just had to let it all go, because I mean, now the clothes I have are just so minimal. I don't have this closet full of this, So it's a lot of shedding, like I was saying earlier, just letting it go. I don't have anything. And I think the less I have, the better I feel in a lot of ways. Because I think when you have things, it kind of rests on your shoulders. Like, I remember I was living in India, and I was living in this big house. And I think living in a big house rests heavy on your shoulders. For me, it did. And so it was nice to get out of all that. And so I left India, and I was then, traveling around the world. And I think traveling also keeps you very light, because I didn't have a home. So I was talking to one of my friends, and she had kids, like in India, and this little kid, and I said, and he goes, oh, what do you do? He's so cute. He said, what do you do? And I was like, where do you live? And then I said, okay. I said, I am, and people take it the wrong way. I think it's great. I said, well, I'm homeless. And I said, I'm jobless. And he goes, what kind of car do you have? And I said, I'm carless as well.
Wow.
So he said, what were the things? I said, I'm homeless, I'm jobless, and carless. He's like, oh, okay. He's a sweet little kid. So it was very interesting that. But some people take it wrong. They're like, oh, don't say that. You always have my home to come to. But I'm like, no, I'm not saying it in a bad way. I'm right. I don't have to have like, oh, this is my home. At least not for now. I'm just traveling around. and maybe my travels will end and I'll be like, okay, enough traveling around, I'll be in one place. But that time hasn't come yet. It may come soon. I don't know. So yeah. So it is very minimalistic. I don't have too many things. I can probably put everything into a few suitcases and be done. That's my possession. Yeah. I don't have any furniture. Like I used to live in this huge like mansion type home, right? And I used to have servant like people helpers everywhere. Do you imagine the amount of tension that goes in? Oh, the cook has come. Like in India, you have cooks and maids and drivers and all that. So you have to have a whole house.
You lived in a mansion with servants?
Yes, yes.
Wow.
We'd have a cook and we'd have like a nanny and then a maid and then the driver and then the gardener and all these people kind of like coming in. So that's a lot of managing of people, right? Isn't it? I mean, I felt like, oh my God. I mean, not only do you have this house to take care of, but now you have all these people coming in the house and your time and energy is expended on all the stuff that you don't need to have done, right? Like if you didn't have this huge house, then you wouldn't need all, and you didn't need to eat, then you wouldn't need all the stuff, right? So anyway, so that was kind of minimalistic. What I'm trying to get at is I had that lifestyle, then I'm come down to carless, homeless, jobless. You know? So.
But in a perspective that is better. So one perspective is, oh, she downsized and that's the negative. And then, but in your perspective, it's positive. It's like you downsized physically, but you've expanded spiritually, emotionally, mentally. You have probably prolonged your lifespan. Less stress. All of these are part of the minimalistic lifestyle.
Absolutely, Veronika. I think I am happier than I've ever been. I think that all that stuff, you don't realize it. But if you have a closet full of junk, it's kind of weighing on you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you have a garage full of junk, I'm not saying junk, but like stuff. Right? Yeah, it's just kind of weighing on you. Like, I mean, it weighs on you. You may not realize it because you're just so used to it. But when you let go of it, you feel like, wow. Like I do. I was like, wow, like I have less stuff to carry with me, I'm just me here. Like that's it, So the more I let go of the happier and the lighter I feel. So what I'm doing is channeling, I think, my energy into I think now it's my spiritual growth, and that's what's happening. And I feel like I'm growing leaps and bounds. And thanks to you, Veronika, I think you having opened my third eye, I've been having
you did all the work and you were ready. Like, thank yourself, I mean, I was so honored that you wanted me to be a part of that, but you were so ready. And it's so funny how it happened. It was just kind of like neither one of us planned it. You just started talking about it and I was like, oh, by the way, I can help you do it if you're ready. And you're like, really?
I have no idea. I mean, really? You can? But you're in Texas and I'm in California. How are you going to help me? Oh, wow. And I had no clue about this. And then I got to know you deeper and deeper and better, like, because I kind of knew you and I had a connection, but I didn't really know how multi-dimensional.
Yeah, well, just like you don't talk about that to people, I talk about this part of myself. But so tell everybody about, is it next week? Where you're going to be talking and how we can log on to that and watch you.
Oh yeah, so I'm going to be speaking at the Breatharian World Festival, and it's going to be on July 12th at 10 a.m. But it's on the Breatharian World calendar. If you just look at my name, Rakhichari, it'll come up.
Now, is there a website to this Pranic Festival?
Yeah, if you just type in Breatharian World Festival, it'll
okay.
come up, and it'll come up with the whole schedule. And there's a lot of beautiful people speaking at it. I mean, they're all beautiful people speaking at it. And I think and for me, you know what? Before I started on this, before I started on this journey, I went to that website. And I was so inspired by all the people that were speaking, and I just would watch everyone's videos because it was so inspiring for me. And I can't tell you how grateful and how thankful it is that after 3 years I'm actually going to be a speaker, and for me to be able to inspire others that are on this path, and that's I think that's just like almost, I'm so humbled and so honored to be able to speak and to be able to inspire others that are on this path. As I was inspired by the speakers when I was, new to this path, or even when I didn't even begin this path, I was like completely looking into breatharianism, and I ran across this website, and I was like, wow, look at all these people. They're doing such amazing things. So, yeah.
That's awesome. Now, what about where are you going to be in November of this year?
Right, November, I am helping Ray Maor put together his only 2021 Pranic retreat, and that is going to be in Sedona. And that's going to, if you go to Ray Maor's site, you can sign up for that. It's going to be starting on November 11th is when it starts. And it's a 9-day process. So yeah, I'm helping to put that together. And there's so many beautiful people that have signed up already. And
Oh, yeah.
I'm so looking forward to it because I just love just being there and helping people that are on this path. But I think I can help anyone because I feel like I've gone through the journey and I have dealt with the food, and food is such an addiction. No matter if you're spiritual or coming from a real world, like a 5 sense reality kind of world. I think that food is just a real world reality that we need to kind of deal with that addiction that we have to food. So yeah. It'll be nice. I'm looking forward to it, and I know Ray, I know Leslie, and I've been working with Grace, who was there on my first Pranic retreat. She was the organizer, so it's just so beautiful to be in that environment and I just feel so blessed actually.
To have all that support in one place. Oh, it's amazing.
It's just amazing. I just feel so blessed that I can. 3 years ago, I was a participant. A little less than 3 years ago, I was a participant. Now I'm going to, help coordinate. And I just feel like I'll meeting the people like me that were coming in. And I feel like I can help. I can be there as a support. I've been through all this stuff, so it'll be great.
Yeah. So you're about to come up on your 3rd year. Do you see anything for your next year, or are you just going with the flow and seeing what happens?
Well, I knew in my 2nd year, I don't know how, but I knew, well, I probably did know how, but I knew like in my 2nd year, I said, okay, my 3rd year, my first 2 years were solely food, and I said my 3rd year is going to be more into spirituality, I'm going to become like more spiritual, and it happened in my 2.5 years. It started happening that way, and then you and I reconnecting, and the third eye opening, and all these amazing things happening to me that
yes.
Oh my God, if I didn't believe in a higher, like in a different realm, I definitely believe in it now because of all the stuff that's been happening to me. It has just been mind blowing. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. And and it's always after the third eye, it just, one after the other things started happening.
Yeah.
It's like a magical show. It's like, and I'm creating the magic. I'm part of the magic. I'm seeing the magic. All that stuff is happening. It's fascinating. Yeah.
Talk about now that you've lightened up your body and you're living on prana, and now that your body has all this energy, can you talk about what you do now? Because obviously when you ate solid food, you led a completely different life than you do now. So what have you changed in as far as your daily life?
I know I don't put out as many videos as I should. So I do have a YouTube channel, and that does take time to, get it going. Just once a week, dry fast, putting that together.
Oh, right.
And that's something that's like, then I'm helping Ray put his retreat together. Not that that's taking up too much time, but it's all a little, right?
What are your daily habits? What do you do that are just your daily habits? Like meditation or yoga or
I do yoga every day. I do meditation every day. breathing, like pranayama, every single day. And it's so much that it's not that I even have to sit and say, okay, let's do breathing. It becomes a part of your life, right? Doing the full yoga breathing. I teach yoga, right? So during my yoga class, I'll say, okay, let's do pranayama.
So are you teaching yoga now?
I'm teaching yoga now, yeah. So
Where do you teach?
Since I travel around, so I don't have to be. So it's all online that I teach.
Oh, wow. I didn't know you had an online platform for teaching yoga.
Yeah, I do. Yeah. So I went into yoga as just a physical thing. Like I want to do physical exercise, and I went into it, and yoga changed me in so many levels. In so many levels. And I went into the Breatharian path as just about food, right? And it has changed me in so many levels. So one was physical, it changed me, and one was like food, and it changed me, right? So, yeah.
So you were a yoga instructor before you got on the path, right?
Right. So I've been a yoga instructor for almost 15 years now. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. So at Ray's retreat, I'll be teaching yoga there as well.
Yeah.
It's what I do is what I enjoy doing and what I love doing. So I'll focus my attention on that, not focus on my attention on other things that are going to come in the way of my growth. But it's not that I'm doing so much more. I just have more time to do whatever I'm doing. So I'm not rushed. I'm not pushing myself. I'm like, oh my God, I have to do. No, I have some time. I can do it. So I'm more of a relaxed pace that I work at now. I always think it's just the kind of, like I met you on my second retreat, right? I mean, you meet these amazing people that it's like, wow, the retreat is one thing, but then the people you're meeting is another thing, and the environment around these retreats are just really amazing. So,
well, that's what I love. I love everything about it. The people, the place, the fasting, all of it. All of it.
Life-changing things that are happening. I know how my life changed after my first retreat. These are life-changing things that are happening to people, right? I mean, 3 days of dry. You think, okay, it's only 3 days of dry, but 3 days of dry changes you. I mean, it changed me. When I went into it, I was like, oh my God, can I do 3 days of no food or water? Is that possible? Remember when I first started, I was like, oh my God, is that possible? So, yeah. And my son, before when I went to, he's like, Mommy, if you get thirsty, just have water. You don't have to do dry.
Oh, you're so sweet.
So a lot of my time goes into traveling as well, because I'm traveling to different places, and then you want to see the sights and things like that, and just getting adjusted to the new place. And yeah, I don't know what it is about me and traveling. I've been traveling for years now, like nonstop. Even when COVID happened, I still like traveling. It's like, okay.
How many years have you been traveling?
I've been traveling for. I've always been traveling, but extensive, like nonstop traveling has been.
And this is just for pleasure, right? Not for
just
work?
for pleasure. No work involved in this thing. It's been like 5-6 years that I've been extensively just traveling.
Do you feel that being on this Breatharian path has made travel easier?
Definitely.
It seems like it would make it easier, and you don't have to worry about food. I mean, especially if you're a vegan or vegetarian, you don't have to worry about food. There's always liquids around, and
absolutely, it's much easier. You don't have to worry. Like if I was a vegan, I say, okay, where are the vegan restaurants? There's not enough vegan food and this and that. It's just so easy. It's freeing. It's like, okay, if there's a grocery store, I'll buy nut milk, or I'll like find some juice, or basically. But I find myself as not really getting juices per se, but what I'll do is I'll take an apple and I'll suck all the juice out of there and spit everything else out. I think that's the freshest way to get juice. Like, why would you put it through something and get it? I think the juice of the apple tastes so much better when you're actually taking it out on the spot. So I don't need a juice. I don't need to buy the juices that are on the, kind of those packet juices or something. I'll just get an apple or an orange, and I'll suck on the orange.
So smart.
Yeah.
So now, when you get the apple, you chew it to release the juice, right? And then you spit the pulp out, right?
Yeah.
That's a double benefit. When you eat fresh fruits and vegetables, we're getting the all of the nutrients. They're still alive, and it's the next best thing to unprocessed.
Right. And so then you can say, well, for the breatharian path, you don't really care about nutrition or whatever. So putting nutrition aside,
Oh, that's true. You're right.
no, but it could be, but just like say it doesn't matter. Putting that aside, it is just the taste so much better.
Mm-hmm. That's
It's just like, I take instead of taking the whole thing of juice and chugging it down. It's not as nice as actually taking the juice out, and the juice tastes so much better. And then you just spit out the. I mean, it could take some practice, but then you just don't just spit it out. So.
No, I think your willpower is incredible. Because, you actually have to have willpower to do that, because there was a point where if I had done that early on, I may have just swallowed it. Like, I'm not spitting this out. I have to eat it now.
Yeah. And I think I may have given people the wrong, probably, I mean, I give people what I think will work because it's worked for me and it doesn't work for everyone. So I may have given people the wrong advice for them, because I say, if I say, well, if you want to eat, just put it in your mouth and just spit it out. But you're right. I mean, that's great. But what happened is they ended up eating. So I was like, maybe that was the wrong advice.
Well, but you know what it did for me? Yes, early on, I might have done that. But what it did for me is it kind of freed me up, and I thought, if worse comes to worse and I really, really, really want to stay on liquids, and at the same time I'm really, really, really having cravings, I can just do that. Take a bite, get the juice, and spit it out. Yes, either way, you have to be committed and determined. I always say that. Persevere, commitment, determination. So it's great. It would have never occurred to me to eat pizza, get the juices, and spit it out. When I saw that video of yours, I was just like, yes, I think you do one with a mango. And it's just so, obviously, if you don't have willpower, it might backfire. But if you're already craving something and you don't have willpower, you're going to eat something anyway. But this is kind of, it meets you halfway. It's like you don't have to do all or nothing. Here's a way where you can get the taste of the juices while still staying on liquid, still staying on that path.
Thank you so much. For me, it's been like training wheels. Like how does a kid learn to ride a bike? I mean, they don't just learn to ride a bike, right? They have training wheels. So it's like, then you can take one wheel off and then maybe take the other wheel off, and then the kid will go, right? And I think for me, it is a training wheel to be able to say, I really am craving that, but I know for the next year I can't have it. And I don't want to be so harsh on myself to say no and punish myself. And I do want to stay on liquids, but I really also want that. So, okay, let's put the training wheels on and let's just, it's okay. I'll just spit it out. And I'm happy. The kid inside of me is happy because it got the taste. And then the body's happy because it didn't have to digest all that. And I'm happy because I'm still on the path.
Beautiful. That's so smart.
Yeah. So I've just done that. Sometimes if I really feel, even till date, like if I feel, oh my God, like that, I will put it in my mouth and spit it out. I mean, I just feel like, why deprive yourself of something that if you really, because I think if you just kind of deprive yourself, then there's going to be this like spring back. You're just going to come back and maybe just eat like everything in your sight, right? Like people that kind of go on these extreme diets or something, and then they come on and they eat everything, right? And I feel like, no. Let's go slow and gentle. So I don't try to deprive. I want, basically my body should not want it. It's kind of like, before when I used to eat eggs, and then my body kind of rejected eggs. This is before my breatharian path. Like I used to eat eggs, or I used to eat meat, right? And then I stopped eating meat, and then I stuck to eggs, and then I used to eat eggs, and then it didn't resonate with mine, and I kind of didn't want it at all, right? And then even when I came on my breatharian path, I was still having dairy, and then it got to the point where, oh no, that doesn't sit well with me. Okay, then I was having heavy kind of soups, right, with lentils and all that. And then I was like, oh no, that doesn't sit well. So my body has been moving these things away from me, like, no, I don't want that, I don't want that. And I think that's the kind of a natural progress. But you don't get there until you have the training wheels, I think. I mean, training wheels help you get there faster. I feel like, I was like, okay.
Yes.
You want pizza? Okay.
I love
But
that.
it's funny now, I don't crave pizza. Before I used to crave pizza all the time, but now I've never thought I'd come to a day where I didn't crave pizza. I don't crave pizza, That's it.
Yeah.
It's just your body changes and you don't want it. Like I stopped having onion and garlic, and now the idea of onion and garlic in food is just like, no, I don't want that. Like it doesn't resonate with me. I just don't want it. And even when I was on the Breatharian path, I was having alcohol, right? And then I was like, why am I having alcohol? Like, it's not sitting well with me. And I'm like, okay, let's just give it up. So I like it when my body doesn't resonate and I just give it up. It's just no longer part of the willpower. It's just, no, I don't want it. And I think you slowly get there with the training wheels.
Awesome. That is very well put. Is it the same with caffeine? Because I know you used to drink coffee and now you don't drink caffeine, right?
No caffeine, no coffee, tea, no, none of that. And I gave all of that up. And I just feel so much better with all that. And you don't realize what it's doing to you until you give it up. You don't realize what the closet full of junk is doing to you until you clear it up, right? You don't realize what heavy impact is on you until you give it up. And you just give it up and you feel better. And I know some people maybe, have, as we're addicted to food, people may be addicted to caffeine, but I never really, maybe I was addicted to caffeine, I don't know, but it just kind of didn't resonate with me. I'm like, it kind of messed with my brainwave or something. I felt like I wasn't in that relaxed, meditative, calm kind of a place that I wanted to be. It was more like a little agitation, like, why do I want that agitation? Let it go.
Yeah, the body definitely gets more sensitive with stimulants.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And I think when you speak of stimulants, I takes me back to my ayahuasca experience. I think I had too much, I was like,
yes,
I need to have half of what I had. It was just one of those experiences that it was like, oh my God, I truly like the worst night of my life kind of experience,
Wow. Have you done a video about that?
Yeah, I did. And it took me a while to do the video. I couldn't do it right away because it was so traumatizing, So it took me a while to kind of get my bearings together. And I was like, okay, let me do a video on this. And it wasn't easy, so that I did do a video on that. Yeah, it was a really traumatizing experience for me. I won't do it again. I don't think I need to do these things any longer. I don't think I need ayahuasca. I don't think I need to do 5-MeO. I think I'm already on this path, and let's just explore it naturally as I'm doing it now. So it could be good for some people, and and it's attracting a lot more people to ayahuasca is attracting a lot of people. So I mean, it's great. It just wasn't good for me for whatever.
Right. Well, I get the sense that there was a reason you were drawn to it. It may have done something to prepare you for your third eye opening, in a subconscious way that you don't even remember now. And I kind of get the feeling that as you go on this path, you're going to have, something's going to click and you're going to remember, and it's going to be like, it's something that you remember, but you don't make a connection until you're further along and you've had more experiences. But that's why I'm saying, this is why I think, and I'm not telling anybody to do it. I'm not recommending it for anyone. Yeah. Just in your case and in my case, I can see how it was of benefit. And the reason you don't need it anymore is because it did what it was meant to do. Your third eye's open, your body's at a different level to where you don't need that drug to help you further with your path.
Yeah. That was an experience. But I think what I do, it was the worst night of my life, and
oh my gosh,
it was the worst night of my life. But I think it just took me to a spiritual realm that I didn't know existed. Like it was just, and so maybe there is something more that's going to come out of that. I don't know, but I know I was speaking to Leslie. She's like, well, there's something, there's a reason, and there's something will come out of that.
She's right. She's right. I see it too.
Yeah, so I don't know what it was.
But it's going to be something good, something that you're going to be like, "Ah," you're not there yet where you can say, oh, I'm glad I did it. But you're going to be like, oh, I'm glad I did it, and I'm glad I only had to do it once. You know,
Yeah.
glad it's over. I got it out of the way.
Right. Yeah.
Is there anything you want to share about this path and what it's done for you, or the experiences that you've had?
This path has opened up this whole spiritual world and this whole happiness within me that I'm just so blessed. I think people who are going to start off on this path, if they feel that, oh, this is going to change, that's going to change, if they're afraid of this and that, if you're going to go along this path, trust me, everything's going to change. Nothing's going to be the same. And if you're afraid of things changing, then I don't know, maybe they can rethink it. But if you're ready for the change, I think you just need to jump in and just go for the ride, because you don't know what's around the corner, what's here, it is fascinating ride. And I feel like if you're ready for a change, and there's no bigger and greater change than just going on this path, which is just makes life so much more colorful and beautiful and enjoyable to live. And you're just going to find that you get to the true essence of who you are, before you're covered with all these things. And I know I'm not probably at that true essence. I'm still on my path, but I think you kind of let go of a lot of things, and you kind of get to the truth of who you are. And there's no bigger joy than that. So and don't be afraid of the changes, because all the change is going to happen for the good. There are no changes that are going to happen that is for the bad of you or for the worse of you. All the change, you may think at the time that this change, oh my God, but it's all going to be for the good. And you may not think it at the time, but it's all going to be for good, and you're going to attract more and more good things to you as you go on this path. And you'll be changing people around you as well, because you emanate whatever it is once you start going on this path. And I know friends who have changed. They start changing their diet, and they have changed inside being around with me. And they started changing their insides, and now that the inside is changed, they're a different person. Now the outside is changing. So now they have to leave their job. They have to the workplace doesn't resonate with them. They're looking for a different career. So if your inside change, your outside is going to naturally change. So if you go on the path, your inside is going to change. So the outside is also going to start changing. And so what is within, it has to reflect what is out there. And so it's all going to change. It's all going to change for the better. It may not seem like it, but it's definitely changing for the better.
That is so beautifully put. So thank you so much for joining me and for sharing your beautiful, beautiful journey.
Thank you so much, Veronika. I really appreciate you and appreciate you at all levels. You have been a blessing for me. Thank you so much. You're like my sister, and thank you for the interview. I appreciate it so much. Thank you, sweetheart. Thank you.